Asher's conformity lines experiment. This is about Solomon Asch and his experiment that is based on if you have Confederates and a control group of one person, wondering if the person in the control, the one person, will conform to the group of people. In this experiment, Ash gathered 7 to 9 male college students for what was for what he claimed was an experiment in perception. Um, the Confederates or rebels were all but one. When he entered the room, others were seated in a row. After taking his seat, the study began. Uh, 2 large white cards were revealed, one with a single line and one with 3 lines of different lengths. One of the 3 lines was the same size as the standard line, and the two were different. From 3/4 of an inch longer or shorter to 1 inch and 3/4 longer or shorter. The participants were asked to verbally announce which of the 3 comparison lines was equal to the standard line on the standard line. On the first 2 trials of the group unanimously answered correctly, but on the third trial, the Confederates all gave the wrong answer. Each study had 18 trials, 12 of which the rebels or Confederates gave unanimous incorrect answers. So it was planned to do this. They gave correct answers occasionally so that the participant did not suspect collusion. So basically what ends up happening in this is that you have 7 to 9 college students, males in this case, that were given lines to say which ones were the same. And the experimenter did 18 trials, and they also had rebels or Confederates. Whenever the Confederates were to say the wrong one, in the group situation described in the method, the participants made errors in line judgment 36.8% of the time. There was about 1/4 of the participants never submitted to the majority, whereas some individuals conformed almost every single time. Every participant that conformed to the majority underestimated the frequency of their conformity when interviewed later. So they weren't aware of what was all going on. They underestimated the amount of time, or the many times that they conformed. What are some possible explanations, you ask? When the participants were interviewed at the end, explanations were given for participants' non-conformity included. Confidence in one's judgment or the obligation to stick to their answers. Conformists gave explanations such as, I am wrong, they are right, not to spoil your results, or the idea that something was wrong with them for seeing the answer differently, so they wish to hide this. Even those who conformed believed that perhaps the group members were simply sheep following the first to give an answer, or that the members giving a wrong answer were seeing an optical illusion, yet they responded incorrectly with the majority anyway.
And Dr. Moore's class, tired and crazed. Learning about psych is what I do most of my days. Rogers and Ford and Erickson are cool, but I like studying Ash outside of the school. When a couple of kids, they were up to no good, started making trouble in the neighborhood. I lied one little time so I could fit in, but then in experiment, I realized I was in. We were shown a card that contained 3 lights. There was another card that had lines on it too. If anything, I could say that this group was rigged, but I thought, nah, forget it, just answer like them. I answered every trial like the rest of the group, and I finally found out it was all a trick. I looked around the room at everyone there and thought to myself, this is so unfair.